take the needs of what buyers have, meaning with a lease with an option.
Okay.
And you fulfill the needs of that buyer by allowing them the ability to lock in today a sales price.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, my world shifted when I just went, what am I doing? I'm trying to rent these things out and they don't care and they beat them up and they complain about it and they want their rents lower and lower and lower, versus when I would lease option a property to somebody. And I have a couple, I had a military guy that came over and that had some bad credit after he served our country in Iraq and got a divorce. And he comes over and he says, yeah, well, I'm back. Now I've got a job. I got some bad credit, but I'll get that worked out. But I want the place. And all I needed to do was find out, he has income and he can probably afford it. And the credit items that he has isn't going to destroy the structure of the house that I have. Okay. Now, let me back up and say that again. Does he have the ability? Just because someone has bad credit doesn't mean they don't have the ability to buy something. Because anybody can go under a lease with an option. Bad credit, judgments, things like that don't attach to a rental property. Okay? So, yes, he has an income. Would the bad credit or credit marks, whatever you want to call them, would those attach to his income that would prevent him from paying the lease payment? Okay, that's really what the question is.
Okay.
So are those something that, like, some people have medical judgments against them? They've had, their outstanding bills. They're going to attack whatever income that person makes. That might be a reason why they can't make the lease payment, because someone's attached to their bank account or whatever it might be. Okay. So those are the things that I'm looking at. And in this evaluation, I went, well, they have enough money. They had $25,000 to give me as a deposit towards this property, which is all the money that I would have used to buy it anyway. So I've been now refunded, and any money that I had in it. They will live in it. They'll pay the taxes on the property. They'll make a monthly payment. And all I'm really doing is setting out into the future a purchase price of the property that this new buyer may or may not make.
And that's usually 3 or 5 years?
Yeah, I usually ran them under about a 2-year lease with an option to buy. Okay. So here they come in. Great. Here's $25,000 down. I would like to lease it. And I also want to have the option to buy it. So we work in the payment, the purchase price today. Great. So for me, here I bought it for X, and I'm potentially selling for Y. And as long as those things are an acceptable profit margin, great. That's what we do. We buy and sell. But I still haven't given up the depreciation. I still get those benefits. Remember when we started, we got those different benefits. So it's like, okay, I just gave away equity appreciation. That's what I did with a lease option.
Sure.
I gave it with the equity appreciation. But I only gave it up to a certain point, because they have until a certain date to buy it. And if they don't exercise their option is no longer good. Their deposit is non-refundable. And I can sell it. So let's just say it's now between 2 years from now and the property goes up in value. Now it's at this price. It's just like I just bought a new home, right? Now I go, oh, okay, great. They didn't buy. I've had people come up, give me $50,000 and then turn around and go, we're moving out of the area. We're not going to buy it. See ya.
So you still own the house.
I still own the house. I already have the 50.
You've got your money back, so you got no money into it.
No money into it.
You can turn around.
And I still have $50,000 in equity because, it's still in the property. And next, would you like to buy it?
Right.
And it's not about the house. It's about personal situations, right? It's about a divorce. It's about getting a job somewhere else. That's what this one was. I got a job somewhere else and had to leave. Sometimes I'll refund a portion of their deposit for them showing the property to people that are prospective that are coming in. Great, because they're going to lose it anyway.
Sure.
So it doesn't have to be something that someone's losing in order for you to do it, because I've given them the right to buy it at a certain point. And if they do buy it at this point, fantastic. Shake hands. it's a prearranged profit. But all the tenant worries now, because of their $25,000 down, if they don't pay that month, they lose that $25,000 in down payment because they didn't fulfill the contract.
And there's a higher likelihood that they'll do a better job of maintaining the property because their plans are to take ownership.
Yeah, right. It's not a rental car anymore. It's
Right.
going to be my home. And I've had people go in and go, okay, great, it's going to be mine. And they'll give you a written notice and say, we want to update the windows in the house. Fantastic. Go for it. It's going to be yours. Provided that you buy it at some time, certain time. I had a tenant one time that came in and we worked on her credit and got her credit over that 2-year period. I have a disc that I give. A disc. See how old that is? But it's a credit repair, essentially the forms, and give it to the tenant so that they can get their credit back up on track. And they did. As a matter of fact, they got it so good that they went out and bought a big car. But the car then screwed up the debt to income ratios of them being able to buy the house. So there's a little bit of education in this. Goes a long way to someone that is coming in that wants to buy a place. They know what they want. You can service them better by saying, all right, here's how we can do this. If they have a judgment against them, but they have some cash from maybe their grandmother passed or something and they have an inheritance. Great. Let's put this new lease option into a limited liability company so that you can secure your housing. This is about an upward spiral of success, or it's a downward spiral. There's really no flat lines across there, right? Can we get them, if they're going, we're renting, we're paying high interest, we got bad credit, that's kind of a downward spiral. But if we can say, but now we're investing, we're controlling equity, the market's going up, that's an upward spiral. And we can help them to do that. And because of that, you get referrals, you get loyal tenants, you get larger deposits. Now that's something I know, in knowing you as much as I do, that you could probably go, I'd like to have 4 or 5 or 6 of those going on at the same time instead of going 6. Now you could even do that in a market where the income for rent doesn't match what the value is. Okay.
Because that was going to be my question in this example. It's dependent on you being able to find the property, buy it with some meat left on the bone, which is the struggle I'm running into in my market.
Right. Well, and that is a really good question and answer, because the fact is if you can't buy something that has a value, or if you can't increase its value by what you know. Right. I can increase the value of a home by offering better terms on that home than just cash. Okay? So, if I find a property that's worth $100,000, could I sell that property to someone for $110,000 because I gave them better terms of repayment? So can I sell it the value of the home? Can I make this home marketable to more people? Let's take an example. Normally 4 out of 10 people, 4 out of 10 can qualify for a home mortgage. Okay. So 4 out of 10, that's 6 people out there that have some credit dings, maybe not verify income, all of those different things. There's 6 people out there. So you have a home come on the market and they're all going for those 4 people that can cash them out. But what if we can structure the financing on a piece of property when you purchase it that allows you, the owner, to sell the property with great terms that you can hold the paper or the mortgage or the lease with the new buyer that's coming in? Would that be now the 4 people that qualify for a home mortgage? They might be interested just because of what the house is. But also the other 6 can now enter that arena. So if 10 out of 10 people could now buy it, or 4 out of 10 could, that would make the property more valuable to the public. And therefore that margin, you might be able to make an income from. Now, for the most part, if you're just buying $500,000 houses and trying to sell them, you might be able to get another 5% out of it because you made great terms and lease option. Maybe you can do that, but that might not outstrip the risk of going, if they don't buy it. But each time someone gives you a large down payment, your risk reduces, right? I bought it for 500. Someone gave me 25,000. They didn't buy it. Now I'm only into a 475. Somebody else gave me 50,000. Now I'm, and I like around the $25,000 to $50,000 range because that's almost the amount of money that grandma could help with, or I got a car settlement, or any of these type of things. Sometimes now even credit cards can do that.
So still talking lease options, right? When you
Lease
say
option or real estate contracts. So I sold it to you. You're now the registered owner. I'm the legal owner, like a real estate contract.
Okay.
So a lot of people refer to that as an owner contract.
Okay.
So I don't pay my money to the bank. I pay it to the seller of the property, the owner of the property, and I pay it at an interest rate, but it's recorded at the local county offices. I own it, but I owe the debt to the previous seller. And there's some things that, we talk about in classes and things that you go, well, we have to check title and we have to do all of those things to make sure they don't owe more against it. Okay. All of those things being equal, the overall topic is you can pay it to the bank or you can pay it to the seller. And if you own it, now the benefits of the interest reduction or interest deduction can be a benefit that the new buyer has where previously on a rent they didn't. So now we start an upward spiral for them because now we shelter more of their income from taxes because it's a write-off. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So with the research that I've done, and all the conversations we've had and working with Clint, I'm moving away from that idea of being a landlord and actually owning the properties, and was really intrigued by your ideas and the information you provided about becoming a landlord by accident, in the sense of note buying and being a lender. So with my employment situation, with the work with the government, I don't really have access to my phone during the day. So being kind of out of touch and out of reach, I would really want more of a hands-off approach in real estate investing.
Okay.